Hello and welcome back to That's What He Said. Today I want to start actually with a question, and that is, how can I help? This was is a staple of how I grew up, and I learned this from my dad, but this was a big one with my mom too, especially my mom. So a little bit of both That's What He and She Said this week. But when Josiah and I were growing up, we obviously both were not always on time because we're still not, but we're working on it. But when I was growing up, my mom and dad had used this phrase whenever we were running late as kids. And instead of rushing or snapping in frustration, they either one or the other would ask, how can I help? And at the time, I realized that it was helpful, but I didn't realize how powerful those 4 words were. But now as an adult, I've had friends ask me, how do you do it? How did you even think of that? And I think it's shaped a lot of my relationships with my friends and my boyfriend and just in general. And I think that these words can help shape you too. So let's talk about it. So picture this first. Before we get to you, let's talk about me. I'm just kidding. But before that, I want you to picture this. Just chaos in the morning. Shoes untied, books forgotten, someone still looking for their jacket, somebody zipping their hair into their jacket and then pulling it out because they were rushing and they're not very patient, and this definitely wasn't me. However, we were late sometimes, more often, maybe especially to church, than I'd like to admit. But instead of getting angry or shoving us out the door or yelling at us, my parents would ask, how can I help? As you can tell by our normal family. But this was super, super important because I feel like both of them modeled patience. They modeled grace. They modeled the truth in frustration, never getting you anywhere faster. But presence, choosing to help instead of hurry, changed everything for me. Then, and it still changes stuff for me now. That one question turned this chaotic, stressful morning into an opportunity for teamwork. And it taught me that when people are struggling, the best response isn't pressure, it's partnership. Fast forward to today. I find myself doing the same thing whether it's my boyfriend that's stressed or running behind, instead of nagging at him or getting frustrated, I like to ask how can I help? And when my friends get frustrated, I know I was literally just talking about this with one of my besties, and she was like, I really admire when you just ask, how can I help? But seriously, I think those words create space and they communicate love and they shift the focus from blame to support. And every time, they diffuse tension. So if you don't want tension, I think instead invite that connection instead of conflict. It's a small question with a huge impact. How can I help? So what I've realized about how can I help is it's really about patience and grace. Patience meaning not letting yourself or letting your timeline dictate how you treat other people. Grace, giving others and yourself room to be human. We're not always going to be on time for things, and that's a big stressor for people. But the truth is, we're always late, we're going to forget things, we're going to fall short, and if you can learn to extend patience and grace in those small moments, it becomes second nature in the big ones. When you choose grace over frustration, you make space for love to grow. So this is a big one that I want to challenge you with. The next time someone you love, or maybe someone you just kind of is struggling, whether they're late or stressed or just not firing in all cylinders, pause before you react. I literally cannot stress enough. I know I'm like a broken record, guys, but instead of adding pressure, add partnership. Ask, how can I help? You'll seriously be surprised how this one question can transform not only your relationships, but your own mindset. It shifts you from then becoming reactive and then kind of creates this mindset of intentionality. From frustration, you go to compassion. From impatience, you go to grace. Super, super critical. So I want to ask you a couple reflection questions. First off, who in your life could you use more patience with right now? And I'm sure that you thought of someone pretty quickly. So who in your life could you use more patience with right now? And then I want you to think too, how do you normally respond when others are stressed or running behind? It's okay if your answer is, yeah, I get impatient and I get frustrated right now, because this could be something totally new. This could be a perspective shift you might need. So how do you normally respond? Is it with patience and grace, or is it maybe with frustration, rushing, impatience? It's just something to note. Not good or bad, something to note right now. And I want you mainly to think about this week, today, moving forward, how would asking, how can I help, change the dynamic in your relationships? I'm sure it will lead towards something positive, something great, something intentional. My parents, I know that they were really intentional with saying this to us, but I don't really think they realized how big this would be of an impact and how much these 4 words would shape me, but they did, and I'm still talking about it, and I'm going to be a broken record till my last breath. They taught me and teach me how to love better, how to lead better, and how to be more present with the people I care about. And I believe that these 4 words can do the same for you guys. So this week, I want you to try and ask it. Ask the question, offer the help. Choose grace over frustration, because when you do, you don't just get out the door faster and more effectively, but the most important thing, you build stronger, kinder, more patient relationships along the way. So instead of choosing that frustration, choose that grace. So I hope that you guys take this week. Maybe it's just the mindset shift of, okay, maybe I need to lead a little more intentionally, and maybe I need to give myself or others a little more grace or patience, whatever it may be. I hope that you get something from this. Ask yourself, how can I help? How can we help you guys? Come see our website. Check us out for more. And with all of that being said, thank you guys for watching. I will see you next week on That's What He Said. Bye, guys.